But what about doing online dating, the good, the bad, the ugly? You can't make it up. And again, Erica is in a very happy relationship now, but
who I met on Tinder.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes. Tinder.
And yeah, believe it or not. But
Wow.
Erica is the most resilient dater I know. I was saying this earlier that she could have the worst date of her life tonight, and tomorrow she would be right back out there and have 5 dates lined up for the following week. Nothing stopped
Good
her.
for you.
I was in it to win it.
And when I had done some online dating, she wrote my profile for me. She told me you need to have a whimsical picture in one of your picture. This is your go-to person. So what are some of your, again, dating online, when you were saying some women, the age thing that they put when you're posting to attract certain people, I think maybe they may lie about their age, for a certain age range to come up in a search. Mm-hmm. But so how do you feel about online dating? Because it's more prevalent now and it's more acceptable now, and there are also more apps where you swipe right, swipe left for immediate gratification as opposed to something that takes longer. And how do you feel about online dating? Do you do it? Would you do it? Have you done it? We'll start with Erica.
I thought it was like being a kid in a candy store, really. I thought it was awesome. I loved online dating. It was really almost like a full-time job at one point. I had a spreadsheet, you know, where I would keep track of people because I had made an error in the past where
There was Mike, and Mike?
Yep, I was dating 5 gyms actually at one time. My 5 gym era. But when you meet so many people and you gotta keep track. You're trying to keep track, and they tell you a story about their dead dog or something, and then you're like, oh my God, and then you talk about it the next date, and you talk about it with the wrong person. You're like, oh yeah, remember when you told me about your dog dying? Dog. He's like, I never had it. I'm like, oh boy. But but I do think it's a great way to meet people. But you have to go in in my experience, I think you have to go in with a really positive attitude, and you have to know when to cut your losses. But
is it different dating, above 40 than in your 20s
absolutely.
online?
Well, first of all, I'm not nearly as polite as I used to be. If I was on a bad date,
I don't think you ever were polite.
I was polite. If I was on a bad date in my 20s, I would have stuck it out. And if he wanted to go, 3 hours longer than I wanted to be there, I would have been very polite and done it, and maybe hoped that my attraction or feelings to this person might grow or change. But now I think, would I rather be on my couch with my cat than sitting for 5 more minutes with this person at the other side of the table? And if the cat wins, then the date
of there.
Yeah, the date gets cut short. And I think a lot of it is how someone sells themselves. Like, this is a true story. I went on a date. It was a match date, right? And the person's profile picture was hot. He was a good-looking guy, and it was you
with the cat. He had a picture of him with the cat.
And we decided. I lived in Long Island, and we decided to meet near Penn Station. He lived in Queens, and that sort of was
the middle ground,
kind of neutral territory, right? So we literally picked a street corner to meet on, and then we were going to go to a bar near there. And that was the plan. We were going to meet on the street corner, and we were going to go to a bar near there. First of all, I went to the street corner that he was on, and I literally walked right by him because he did not look anything like his picture. Nothing like his picture. The man who I met on the street literally grabbed me by the shoulder as I walked past him because I looked like my picture, and he knew who I was. Mm-hmm. I would have never picked this person out. And then he has the most giant cup of coffee I've ever seen in my life. Like, I didn't even know Starbucks made coffee this big. It was like this tall, and it was full.
Wow.
So I'm like, well, isn't our plan to go to a bar? So number one, you don't look anything like your picture, and guess what? Less attractive, not more attractive, right? And much older, and he has this giant cup of coffee. So we go to this bar, and doesn't even order anything because has this huge cup of coffee. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna have a glass of wine and an appetizer, you know. So, which I already had in my mind. I'm paying for this glass of wine and appetizer, so I'm gonna get exactly what I want, you know. And he wasn't funny, and he wasn't clever, and he wasn't anything. And I excused myself to go to the bathroom. I looked at the train schedule. I saw there was one leaving in like 5 minutes. I'm 5 minutes from Penn. I'm like,
Don't tell me.
well, I'm going to go now. Oh. Thank you very much. So
from the bathroom, or you told him?
I told him. I
texted
said,
him.
I texted. No,
I'm leaving.
The bill came. I said, let's get the bill. I put down the money for the everything I ate and drank, because he didn't eat or drink anything. And he's like, well, can I walk you to Penn? And I'm like, if you walk fast, because I got a train in like 5 minutes.
That big cup of coffee, you should.
Right? Exactly. I'm like, so we booked, you know, and he's like, well, can I see you again? And I looked at him and I'm like, did you think this went well? Like, really?
Wow.
Was there anything about this
Erica's
that
very
went well
blunt,
to you?
in case you
That's
haven't
good.
noticed. Yes.
I'll take
But
a
I
sip
would
on
have
that.
never, I would have never done that in my 20s, because I would have just been nicer. But
Right.
now, forget it. I don't have time for this.
Yeah.
Maturity.
Well, but you
don't
have
tolerate
time to
certain
say
things.
no, thank you.
I had time to say no, thank you. But I was like, really? Do you think this went well? Because there was nothing
And you were
really.
giving a benefit. You wanted to see if he was going to maybe be better or do something that maybe sparked your
She already
attraction.
decided.
I
he
had
was-
decided. I
You
mean,
already
really,
decided.
if someone's not funny, they didn't look like their picture, you plan to go out for a drink and they show up with this giant thing of coffee, come on.
He catfished you.
Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe. But he showed up. There was
Well,
someone who showed up.
I agree. If he doesn't look anything like his picture,
Right? Maybe it was his son. I don't know.
You should have said, "Where's your son?"
Right? Right? Where's your son at? That's what I was expected to be.
So Eddie, what are your thoughts on online dating? Do you do it, or
I mean, I have done it.
have you had good experiences?
I've had
or
some good experiences. I've actually
Any
met a
funny
couple of
ones,
them.
or?
Oh, some funny ones. This is right. Same like
Tell
yours.
us a funny one.
Oh my goodness. We've been going back and forth with the messaging for about maybe 3 weeks.
Oh my God, that's
Yeah,
so long.
yeah,
That's too long.
That's
yeah,
too
that's too
long.
long.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I told her. And I said, well, don't you want to exchange numbers at least so we can converse verbally? Oh no, I don't feel comfortable yet. I was saying, yeah, okay. I said, I don't know how this is gonna go. So finally she said, okay, so can we meet? This is before we even exchange numbers. She wants to meet. So we met. So me, being the observant person that I am, I stood back. I said, okay, I'm gonna have on this. What are you gonna be wearing? I'm gonna be wearing this and this and this and this. Okay. So I said, okay, we're gonna meet at this certain spot at this certain time.
Had you seen a picture of her before?
Yeah, I seen her picture. She seen her picture. She said, oh, you're so handsome. Da, 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 da. I said, okay. So we meet up. So I come out of the train and she's standing over there, and I'm like, so I pull up picture up on my phone. So I'm like, so I about face.
Oh, no way. You did?
No,
You did?
no. Yeah, I went behind it. I didn't even go and approach, and she was
Did she
over
see
there.
you?
She didn't see me. She saw me, I think, the back of me walking back down.
Running.
And I heard somebody going, hey.
Did she have any teeth?
Yeah, she had one good one. She had one good one and another one that she didn't brush.
Oh.
But, I didn't want to see it. Then she had these spandex leotard type of things with some boots that looked like they needed Vaseline on them. And she was standing, like, yeah. I said, oh, no.
Oh no.
Whoop, about face, back in the train. And so.
Have you done that? Where you
No,
didn't
I-
even talk
No,
to the
I-
person?
Like you saw them from afar, and that
It
was
wouldn't be that I didn't want to. There have been times where I wanted to, but
you
I
were a
just couldn't get
gentleman.
Well, I'm not even sure if it was thinking that way. I just couldn't get myself to do it for what it was the right thing to do, not because it was from my heart, but it was the right thing to do, which isn't always the best motivation. But yeah, I wouldn't do it, but there were times where I wanted to, for sure.
And
Yeah.
what do you feel about online dating? Do you feel people lie, or
I find it interesting because I was on one site that required a profile, and then after about 3 years, I may have gone on only 6 dates. I just wasn't into it, and then went on Tinder. But on the other one, I just felt as though everybody went to Profile Writing 101, and they all looked the same. Everybody read these amazing books, and everybody went to see these amazing artsy films, and all this incredible food that I've never heard of. And so I said, well, how do you differentiate? They're all the same. I mean, obviously I'm exaggerating a little bit, but to some degree.
They have a whimsical picture.
I wrote all their profiles.
That's right.
And then when I got on Tinder, I thought this is much more like walking into a restaurant or walking to a public place, seeing somebody you're attracted to, not knowing anything about the person. So it's a little closer to that. I still believe in that idea of seeing somebody, eyes meeting, feeling something, and saying, I want to talk to this person and see where it goes from there. Tinder doesn't quite give you that, but it's a lot closer to that than the sites
Have
with
you
the big
gone out
profiles.
on any dates from that?
Yes, I have. I just started that in December, and I did meet a woman I liked a lot, and I thought things were going well. And at some point, she texted me. I think she wanted things to move along a little faster, and she said, in the context of our conversation, she said, "By the way, I'm a sex kitten," and I came back.
Bingo.
And I came back and said something that could have been interpreted the wrong way. It meant nothing more than just a funny gesture. I said, "I'll clean your litter box anytime."
Great answer. Great answer.
And then
And that was it.
I didn't hear back from her.
Oh!
And I wrote to her. I all of a sudden realized how that could have been taken. And for some, that might have been a turn on maybe, but I realized how it could have been taken. So I apologized, and she said, "No, that wasn't it." And I said, "Well, let me know." And I didn't hear back from her. So I suspect it was that the night before on our 4th or 5th date, she said, "Well, what do you want?" I said, "I'd like a life partner, a long-term relationship," and I think that's maybe.
What, instead of saying marriage?
No.
Oh,
no.
she didn't want that.
Right.
Oh.
Right. Because when
She just wanted to be a sex kitten.
when we first met, and I missed these signals. She said, "Oh, I just want to date." Now she didn't say that in response to a question I had for her, but it was in the context of oh, when was the last relationship? She says, "Oh, I got out of one about a month ago, and all I want to do is date," and I missed those signals. And I think if I had not said that maybe we could have given it more time, and that maybe in the long run it may have worked out. But and maybe I'll give her a call. Well, I'm not quite crazy about the fact that she didn't respond.
Yeah.
That's
Next.
yeah, and yes, and so, but at the same time, I still think of her whenever I find somebody else online I'm interested in, and even go out with them. I think about her. So I was really into her, and
Aw.
so it's just sort of a shame because I haven't felt that way with the other 6 or 7 dates I've gone on in the last couple of months, which isn't a lot, right? Erica
Not,
would say,
not
yeah,
by
yeah,
Erica's standards.
yeah.
In a
But,
week, maybe.
Week. Wow.
But there are a lot of them who just don't get back to you.
Yes.
Who you'll write an opening line. I'll say, "Oh, that's very sweet, thank you," and then and then you write something else you don't hear back.
But is it because there's so many choices?
It's possible. It's so hard to tell. The
Okay.
person could have died. The person could have met somebody else. And again, to me, it's a matter of courtesy. I will always write back, and I find it very difficult to write back sometimes when you have to say no. It's difficult to do, but I always do it, and I'm not playing the hero or anything, but that's one of the things I choose to do, and I'm sure there are plenty of other mistakes I make, but that's one I don't do because it's so frustrating to me when that happens.